Kyle Walker-Peters has completed his move to West Ham United. And I'm going to give West Ham fans an idea on what you can expect from Kyle Walker-Peters. My inbox today has had quite a few messages from West Ham fans I know, and different podcasts as well, asking me for an opinion on Kyle Walker-Peters. So here I am. I thought I'd put together a video and give you my thoughts on Kyle Walker-Peters and have a look at some of his best season stats during his time down here at Southampton. But first and foremost, I want to say a massive thank you to Kyle Walker-Peters for the 5 years he was here. The best £12 million that we've spent probably in recent years, because value for money, Kyle Walker-Peters has been very, very good value for money. 5 seasons with Southampton. I never ever thought he'd go on and play 5 seasons for us. And last season probably wasn't his best, if we're quite honest. And it was the first time in the whole of his 5 years on the South Coast that he actually took a little bit of flack from the Southampton fans. I think he's been pretty consistent, if I'm honest. I've been watching football for a very, very long time. I've been watching Southampton since I was 6. I'm now 42. I've seen a lot of right backs play at Saints, and he's one of the best. I wouldn't say go on and say he's the best, but he's definitely one of the best right backs I've seen. Nathaniel Klein during his period of time here was very, very good. But what can you expect, West Ham fans, from Kyle Walker-Peters? Well, you'll get somebody that doesn't get injured a lot. He's pretty consistent. He doesn't suffer with a lot of injuries. So he's had niggles like any player would. But he played, in those 5 years for Saints, he played over 200 games, which is quite incredible, really. And like I said, his consistency was brilliant. He was brought in on an initial loan under Ralph Hasenhüttl, and actually he was a lot more stockier at the time. Like, as a player, he was a lot bigger, a lot bulkier. I think in his period of time down here on the South Coast, he lost a lot of weight. And I don't know. I think it certainly last season, I thought when I watched him, he looked probably the lightest he's ever been. And he probably didn't win as many of his duels as he probably should have done. But I think it was probably a season too much for Kyle. If I'm totally honest, I think it was a season too much for him. He should have probably gone last summer. And there was a talk that he was going to leave, but he didn't. He ended up staying with us and seeing out his contract. And you've probably picked yourself up a player that would have cost in excess of probably 5 to 10 million, probably maybe a little bit more. Would he be worth a bit more than 10 million? I think on a free, he's probably negotiated a better wage for the fact that he was on a free transfer. But let's look at some of Kyle's stats, because they are really, really good. I'm going to share my screen with you, and this is from a website that I use for statistics a fair bit. And Kyle Walker-Peters, he was on the verge of going to Turkey, wasn't he, a week ago? And here they have his Turkish club that he was going to sign for. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it because I'm terrible at pronouncing this club's name, so I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. But yeah, here are all his statistics from last season in the Premier League. Got the 2 assists, he didn't score. He started 33 Premier League games and he played 2,922 minutes. His average rating was actually quite low. And when you look at his statistics last season, his stats weren't that great, to be honest. He had like 20 shots, which is a fair bit, really, more than probably any other Southampton defender. But for me, his passing has always been really good as a Saints player. Like, his pass accuracy, 90% last year, very, very good. His long ball accuracy last year was better than it has been. Created quite a lot of chances last season in the Premier League as well. This is the 24-25 Premier League campaign. We're going to look at his best Premier League campaign in this video as well. When you look at him in possession, he's very good. A lot of touches of the ball. Russell Martin was the Saints manager for a long period of last season, and he had Walker-Peters playing as an inverted left back for a long period of time. So he can play left back and right back. He's far more suited to playing as a right back, in my opinion. I think he's a very good right back. He got depossessed 39 times last year. He won 52 fouls. Defending probably wasn't his best year. I said that Saints were poor at the back. He won 65% of his tackles, just 29, quite low. It's in the oranges here on FT MOB. Then you look at his interceptions. He had 19 interceptions. Obviously had a lot of defending to do. Got dribbled past 19 times last season. Discipline was very good. Just the 5 yellow cards. I want to pull out a season where I thought Kyle did really well for Southampton, and that was the first year post-COVID when fans could go back into the stadia. And I thought that was, without question, his best Premier League campaign, and it was the Premier League of so it would have been the 2021-22 season. That would have been Ralph Hasenhüttl, the Southampton manager, and he played well that year. He scored a really good goal against Man City. You'll see it there. If we go down and have a look at his season, his performance for the whole season, he got 2 assists. Expected assists were 3, so he's pretty close to his what they thought he was going to get. Pass accuracy again, very good, 81%. Long ball accuracy's never been amazing, 41 long balls, 48%. He's always looked for the short passes, Kyle Walker-Peters, and he would always look to bomb on and get round and pass the attacker. He always looked to go beyond if he can get that freedom to go forward. Very good at dribbling with the ball. If you look at his dribble success, 67% is quite high, I think, for a player that was playing in the side that was probably, bottom end of the table, struggling. But he was a standout performer at right back. And then you look at the amount of times he touched the ball in the opposition's box under Ralph Hasenhüttl was 81 times. A fair few. Defending wise, he was good this season. Like, you look at all his statistics here are really good, like really good numbers. 5 yellow cards, like I said, his discipline's really good. Look, he gets forward if he's got that license to do so. When you look at his championship campaign with us, and we all thought that he was gonna leave us when we got relegated that first time round, and he ended up staying, and he must have been well sought after, because there was no question he was one of our best players, and I was very surprised that we kept him. But he had a very, very good season in the championship. You look at all the greens here. You look at the amount of shots he had, 37, scored 2 goals. You look at the assists, he got 4. And then again, when you look at his passing's always been really good. I said about that a minute ago in the video, 91%. Saints played a lot of football playing out from the back, so he had a lot of touches of the ball, played inverted fullback for long periods of that season. He can play at right back, he can play at left back too. Masses of touches in the opposition box, 155. Then you look at his dribble success, 60% again, very, very high. And it was just a really good season from Kyle Walker-Peters. And I think you at West Ham have yourselves a very, very good player. I think it was worth looking at those stats, because it does really highlight the sort of player that you're going to be getting at West Ham. Look, he's only had the 2 England caps, and that was under Gareth Southgate a few years ago now. There's a lot of good right backs in the country, isn't there? A lot of very, very good right backs. And look, he went on and said at the start of the season that he wanted to get back into the England fold. And look, and if he did really well, he could start to put some pressure on. You just never know. That there's just so many good right backs in the country, and to break back in is going to be some ask. But staying in the Premier League, I think, was big for him. Going to play in Turkey, I don't think would have done him any favours. And you can see once that deal to move to Turkey was spoke about early last week, I thought, do you know what? It's not the right time for him to go to Turkey, and I'm really glad that he's decided to stay here in England and play in the Premier League. I wish him all the very best. I really do. I think we've had a really good right back, but a lot of Saints fans were critical of him last season. He played in one of the worst Premier League sides, one of the sides that conceded the most amount of goals, but it wasn't all his fault. Let me put it out there. He wasn't at fault for a lot. He was one of very few that walked out the campaign actually with a huge amount of credit. Have to be totally honest, but you've got yourself a brilliant right back. I'll be watching him. One of my dad's favourite players when we went, he loved Kyle Walker-Peters, and I know the owner at Southampton, Dragan Solak, was a massive fan of Kyle Walker-Peters. He's one of his favourite players as well. We're all gutted to see him go. I'm gutted to see him go. It was inevitable he was not going to be a Saints player, but it is definitely time for him to move on. I'm just glad that he's got a Premier League move, but West Ham fans, you've got a brilliant player And it's a big season for you. I think he suit Graham Potter as well. I've seen some of Graham Potter's quotes today. Walker Peters said that he's really excited to go and play for Graham Potter, and rightly so. I think it'd be a good season for West Ham. He said, Potter, that he'd admired Kyle Walker Peters for a long time, and he's really pleased that he's agreed to sign for West Ham. And he's been highly impressed whenever he's faced his teams. I'm not surprised, because he's always consistent. He is Mr. Consistent, really. He is a really consistent. At 28 years old, are his best days beyond I think at Southampton we've probably had his best time. We've had some of his best football's been played. Whether he can go on and kick on, I'm not sure. But you'd say, a lot of people say he'd be at his peak now. I just think he didn't look quite the same player last year. But then Saints weren't fit, and probably didn't have like we're going through a massive transition at the moment where our manager's trying to get us fit, Will, still, because he doesn't believe we're quite fit. We weren't fit enough. But he's 5'8", so he's quite short, 28 years old, and he was really quick. He just wasn't as quick last year. Played over 150 times in the Premier League for Saints. Got the 2 England caps. This is all as per the West Ham website. And it was 2002 they're saying on here. Christ, it seems like it was only yesterday, but it was 2002 when he played for Gareth Southgate and England for the senior side. It was a friendly victory over Switzerland at Wembley that he played in. But he played a lot as in his younger years as well, under 18s and under 21s. He played a fair bit for England then. But yeah, hope that gives you a little bit of an insight, West Ham fans, into what you have in Kyle Walker-Peters. Very good player. He will do brilliant for you. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you want content, football content, make sure you subscribe to me and smash a like on the video. And if you've got a West Ham fan that may enjoy the video, please do share it with them. And I wish you all the very best for the season ahead.